Hello everyone, and welcome to this short video presentation of my first assignment for the Heritage for All internship program. My name is Ilenia, I am Italian, and the case study I've examined relates to learning about territories through the making of food. Although Italy's heritage is still the backbone of tourism in the country, food, wine, and local traditions have increasingly become key pull factors for minor and rural destinations. This is especially true for Sardinia, which will be the case study presented in this short video. To give you some context, Sardinia is one of the islands belonging to Italy, the second largest in the Mediterranean Sea, located between Spain and mainland Italy. According to a survey conducted by Eurispes, an Italian private research institute, and sponsored by the Regione Sardegna, Sardinia's regional government, about mainland Italians' perception of the island, Sardinia is mostly perceived as a tourist destination for its coastal areas and crystal clear sea, but also as a place with a strong food identity. The most recurrent food in respondents' were pecorino cheese, pane carasau, a typical Sardinian flatbread, and sweets like seadas and nougats. In the last decade, different small businesses have increasingly decided to also focus on food workshops to give their guests the opportunity to live unique experiences in the island. I have joined a few times the cooking classes offered by a small business run by some friends, Valerio, Isabella, and Rosanna, Isabella's mother, and what follows is a short record of my experience. My case study cooking class takes place in Sinai, a small town near Cagliari, in a typical Campidanese-style house, which is itself part of the experience. The main features of a Campidanese-style house are its mud bricks wall, an inner wooden roof, and a courtyard or garden around which the house develops. Campidanese comes from the Campidano, which is the main plain in Sardinia connecting Cagliari in the south to Oristano in the west. The cooking class starts with a short introduction of the types of fresh pasta that are going to be prepared and their relevance in Sardinia's foodscapes. And then guests are shown how to knead ingredients to obtain a basic fresh pasta that will be later turned into malloreddus and cururgione, and also regular ravioli and tagliatelle. Formerly known as macarrones, malloreddus' name is thought to come from the Sardinian diminutive name for bulls, malloro. They are small dumplings, a mixture of durum wheat, semolina and water, to which sometimes can be added some saffron, both to enhance their taste and to give them a yellowish color. To prepare them, the pasta is kneaded into a snake-like shape and cut into small pieces, as you can see in the picture. And each of them is delicately pressed and rolled over the inner side of a grater, the inner side of a basket made with a dry column of hay, or over a specific wooden tool to give them a stripy pattern that would better retain the sauce. Cururgiones are the most popular fresh stuffed pasta on the island. Cururgiones is the Sardinian name with local variety for ravioli of various shapes, such as semicircular, squared, or bag-shaped, and closed either with the pressure of a fork or the typical spike closure of the cururgiones with a filling of potatoes and cheese from Ogliastra that have recently been labeled as an IGP food. IGP is the acronym for Protected Geographical Indication Mark. When Valerio and Isabella give an overview on these types of pasta, they usually also introduce Sardinian language, and especially its Campidanese variety spoken in the south. They particularly explain that while the local variety ravioli are called in a similar way than cururgiones, in my hometown, for instance, they are called cugurgiones, This name usually refers to ravioli filled with ricotta cheese and sometimes tarts on lemon skin. Whereas when the word culurgiones is used, it only refers to the ones filled with potatoes and cheese to differentiate them. During their cooking classes, guests usually prepare the latter, also adding a little garlic and mint to the filling, and learn how to realize the typical spike closure, which is very difficult. Besides verbal communication, Valerio and Isa usually rely on videos and pictures to show their guests more about the island and its culture, and to tell them more about the many existing types of pasta and breads in Sardinia. After they have prepared their pasta, guests are offered some local appetizers in the garden while the table is set and the outcome of the cooking class is cooked. The lunch or dinner, depending on the time of the day on which the class is scheduled, is always accompanied by either red or white wine, or both. Again, to help their guests choosing which wine to pair with the meal, Valerio shows up with 2 or 3 bottles, telling the characteristics of each wine, as well as a short story of their producers. Having had the opportunity to talk to several guests during different classes, I have noted that most guests agree that such an experience helps them understand the island's culture more than just a guided tour to a city or an archaeological site. The friendly and informal environment allows them to feel comfortable and at ease, and their learning is mediated by the experience of kneading the pasta, supervised by Valerio, Isabel, and Rosanna. In their reviews, some guests find that especially the presence of Rosanna adds more value to their experience because she shares with them her knowledge and expertise. In conclusion, these kinds of experiences perfectly fit the experiential learning model proposed by RACE, starting with the will to learn by the guests who voluntarily book their cooking class. Then follows the doing stage, in which they learn which ingredients will be used and why, and which types of pasta are going to be prepared. Guests then pass to the digesting and feedback stage, almost literally, when they thoroughly follow their supervisor's instructions in order to learn whether pasta is ready to be kneaded into the different types they're going to realize, how to press and roll the small pieces to obtain perfect maloreddus, and how to spike close the curugiones. This learning by doing process allows them to make sense of the territory, the many foodscapes it produces, and the culture behind a specific food. In this context, territory refers to the expression of human resourcefulness, and as such subject to not only cultural but also anthropological manipulation. At the end of the day, guests also receive the recipe for the pasta and the curugiones filling, as well as the wooden tool they use to create maloreddus, so that they can practice at home and remember their experience while reinforcing their learning. Therefore, focusing more on such experiential workshops represents a strategic trump card to allow guests to live memorable experiences that will last in their memories through time, and also offer them an overview on Sardinia's culture that will not be easily forgotten thanks to the learning through their active engagement. I really thank you for watching this video and hope this video has sparked your curiosity to read my article on the Heritage for All website. Thank you.